UW360 is proudly supported by Pacific Office Automation, copy, print, workflow, and IT. Problem solved.
Hi everyone, I'm Carolyn Douglas. Welcome to UW360. We are joining you from the spectacular cherry blossom-filled quad here at the University of Washington, where the Yoshino cherry trees are in full bloom. People come from all over the country, even the world, to see this incredible sight, and you can see why. We're going to learn more about the history behind these trees a little later in the show. We'll also take a closer look at how all that boat traffic on Puget Sound is affecting marine mammals below. Plus, we'll check in with the women's softball team, who's once again in the hunt for a national title. Erin Mayoski shows us why this year's team is on track for yet another memorable season. We'll also meet Dr. Casey Gardner, a UW graduate who's changing and saving lives in Montana. But first, many of us here in the book-loving Northwest adore our libraries. The musty smell of the books, the peaceful solitude, the endless stories cradled in all those shelves. But in this digital age of online books, what's going to happen to our beloved libraries? Terry Murphy takes a look.
For those of us who remember the Dewey Decimal days, libraries have come a long way. Just take a look at our downtown Seattle library.
It's fascinating to me that it's on the tourist map. So you see people going in there just to look at the architecture, just to look at the building.
For UW professor Joe James, that kind of interest in a library speaks volumes. His own love for libraries resulted in Library 2020, a collection of essays describing the library of tomorrow.
The passion that people felt about how important these issues were, how important the future of libraries was, trying to articulate that and also trying to help the broader professional community think about how we get to where we want to be just a few years out.
One of the contributors is the former director of the King County Library System, Bill Ptacek.
I really wanted to have Bill Ptacek in the book because he's been such a leader in the profession for the last quarter of a century at King County Library System.
We caught up with Ptacek at the Issaquah Public Library.
Right now, we're probably one of the busiest libraries in all of North America. A couple of years ago, we were the busiest library in terms of total items checked out. We exceeded New York Public and Chicago Public and Los Angeles Public.
But what's the next chapter for libraries in this digital age? Some say it will end an era of bookshelves and buildings. Well, according to Ptacek, new technology actually enhances the services libraries have to offer.
If you're interested in reading a good book, maybe you'll go to Amazon or you'll go to some website that may recommend books, and then by the time you come to the library, or probably more likely go to the library's catalog or website, you're going to know specifically what title you want. You're going to want to know how soon can that book be delivered to me, where do I have to pick it up.
Libraries have extensive collections of e-books that can be downloaded at no cost to you. But beyond that, libraries offer a community space, whether it's help with taxes or toddler story times.
I think that people who live in communities more and more want to make those connections, and the library is the perfect place to have that happen.
That connection is especially important in an academic setting.
What you see here is Research Commons. This is the Research Commons in the Allen Library here at the University of Washington. And this is one of these kinds of ways in which libraries are exploring where we go from here. The notion of a research commons or a learning commons. And it's a way for people to come together and collaborate.
Whatever's on the cyberspace horizon, libraries will continue to be a part of the story. A story we hope with a happy ending.
I think that libraries have done a terrific job of using technology and making it work not only to provide the service that we've always been providing, but provide service that goes far beyond.
I want people to know that libraries are a vital part of American society today. We can make almost anything you do better. And we're going to continue to do that no matter what the nature of the media is, no matter what the nature of the stuff is, no matter what you want to do or how you want to do it. Your library will be there, your librarians will be there, and we hope we're there until the end of time.
Even in this age of instant online information, when you really need to research a topic, a library is still often the best place to go. When we come back, sounds from Puget Sound. What exactly do mammals hear under the water, and how might it affect them? As UW360 continues. Welcome back to UW360. We ride the ferries, take a boat ride on a sunny weekend, or watch the giant ships cruise by on Puget Sound, often without thinking, what's all that noise doing to the marine life below? Don Porter from the Applied Physics Laboratory has some answers.
Puget Sound from above, a picture of serenity and quiet beauty. But under the surface, a different story. Researchers from the Applied Physics Laboratory of the University of Washington have bugged the sound with underwater listening devices since mid-2009.
By all objective measures, Puget Sound is a noisy place, and this is due largely to the amount of vessel traffic in the area.
APL's Chris Bassett says what he hears is coming through loud and clear. A ship passing by overhead as it sounds underwater.
A ship is generally very loud and covers a broad range of frequencies or pitches.
Chris Bassett says vessel traffic is the most significant noise source. Breaking waves, precipitation, biology, and sediment moving on the seabed are other common underwater noise sources. In spots, the sound sounds like a maritime Times Square. Admiralty Inlet is a major traffic choke point.
Due to the local ferry routes going all over Puget Sound, due to the ports of Seattle and Tacoma, due to Navy facilities in the Puget Sound area, as well as a large amount of recreational traffic.
Chris Bassett's underwater listening project began as part of the Snohomish Public Utility Tidal Energy Project in Admiralty Inlet.
Our basic listening tool is a standalone hydrophone, and by standalone, what I mean is this is a system that contains the power source or the batteries, an internal data acquisition system and storage device, which is an SD card, and then a hydrophone, which is just the equivalent of an underwater microphone. And those are deployed on a mooring that goes on the seabed for 3-month deployments. We recover the tripod, put in new batteries, download the data, and replace them over and over again to build these long time series. The noise that humans cause in Puget Sound, we're interested in pulling out the patterns and just how significant the noise levels created by humans in Puget Sound are.
Bassett is concerned that noise made by humans could be hard on marine life in the Sound.
Noise has the ability to interfere with their ability to communicate with themselves or to forage and hunt for prey. Essentially, all of the complex tasks that marine mammals perform, they perform with sound. So if we limit their ability to hear, we're limiting their ability to perform.
Our next story is about the exciting UW women's softball team. Every season, the Dogs are right in the middle of the mix, battling for a national title, and this year is no exception. Erin Mayofsky shows us why this year's team is on track for big things.
Husky softball, always competitive at the highest level. In fact, this season is no different from the beginning when the program first launched back in 1993. Ranked in the top 25 and a favorite to advance to the College World Series.
Okay, we're going to our spots. We're getting rips and reps.
Our expectations at the University of Washington are very high. We expect to do it every single year. That might not be realistic some years, but we definitely have a lot of mature players, a lot of players that have been in the program for 2-3 years now, and they understand what this expectation is all about now. And now it's just about going out and playing our game, understanding what our game is, and playing each pitch 1 minute at a time.
Good girl, Kim. Take that little base hit.
Coach Heather Tarr is the centerpiece of Husky softball. She's demanding, driven, a dog through and through.
Dogs on 3. 1, 2, 3, dogs!
What we're trying to do is become the best Husky softball team that we've ever had here. So that means everybody understanding their role. Everybody has a role to contribute to towards being the best team at the end. So I think we have our team in a good spot where the national championship's out of our control. You don't win one in March. You win them in the end of May, and our goal is to just continually improve and get better every single day that we have left to play together.
1, 2, 3, nobody!
Right now, the Huskies are playing some of the best softball in the country, in prime shape to make another run for the national championship, just like they did in 2009 when the Dogs were crowned the top team in the country. Like every season, the Huskies are stacked with talent, starting with senior outfielder Victoria Hayworth. But here at the UW, this team is more than just wins and losses.
Being a Husky is, I think, really about family, about our Husky Nation, which is the name of everyone that supports us and everyone affiliated with Washington. And I just think that the programs we have to support student athletes and the fans that we have that come in the pouring rain, no matter what, to support us is unmatched by any other school I've ever seen. So I just think that speaks immensely to the university and the programs and coaches within every program here.
And as Coach Heather Tarr said, we got to get someone in scoring position and get that timely hit.
And for this team, it always circles back to Coach Tarr, the skipper with the vision, competitive in everything she does.
And they get it. 7th strikeout for Brianna Walker.
I've never met someone so passionate and committed to the game and to high level of expectations and high level of achievement. Coach Tarr is competitive about everything, like who can tie your shoes the best.
JT will get you if you're throwing or not.
She emphasizes winning everything, winning the pitch, winning the game, winning the at-bat, winning warm-ups, winning batting practice.
Being a powerhouse is never easy. This season, like many others, started on the road. The Huskies played 25 straight games away from Seattle before playing here at home at Husky Softball Stadium.
Can those muscles stay strong when we're out here to see the ball this much longer? I just think Washington's a special place, and it just takes a special person to be able to think outside the box and really consider this place as a hidden gem, because it really is. It's beautiful here.
All right, Bridge, let's go. You got it.
The academics speak for itself, and obviously we like to say that the softball speaks for itself, but we think as a program.
And let's go make some plays.
Our best is yet to come still.
When we come back, see how one University of Washington doctor is working to improve medical care in Lewiston, Montana, as UW 360 continues. Welcome back to UW 360. Our next story is about a program to improve medical care in underserved communities through TRUST. TRUST stands for Targeted Rural and Underserved Track, and it strives to provide a continuous connection between underserved communities, medical education, and health professionals in our region. The goal is to create a full-circle pipeline by guiding qualified students through a special curriculum that connects underserved communities in Washington, Montana, and Idaho to the University of Washington School of Medicine. Today we meet one dedicated doctor who's making a difference in Montana.
We're in Lewistown, Montana at the Central Montana Medical Center. Lewistown is a town of about 6,000 people. It's actually right in the center of Montana, the geographical center. and it's an agricultural community. There's a lot of cattle ranches around. There is some farming.
Can I listen to your heart and lungs?
I joined the TRUST program and graduated from the University of Washington in 2012.
Can you lean forward any? Thank you, sir.
TRUST stands for Targeted Rural Underserved Track, and it's a longitudinal program that lasts throughout your 4 years of medical school. It's integrated into it. You do training before you even start medical school in that community, kind of get introduced to it.
Does she mind her tummy time?
Dr. Bennett has been a mentor for me over these years.
There we go.
Actually, she's always treated me like a colleague.
So we like to go right on the skin.
She's always asked me, what I felt we should do in a certain situation, or if I had any other ideas, or if there was something I really felt strongly about, a way to treat someone. She always wanted me to pursue that.
Not bad for a 78-year-old woman.
Pretty good, I would say.
As I've seen that longitudinal education process progress, I think that is truly the future of medicine. I think for medicine anyway, but I also think for especially rural medicine, because the only way we really can have good quality health care anywhere in the rural U.S. is to be able to give young doctors the confidence and the knowledge of what it's like to be out here, and the excitement and the relationship, and why did they go into medicine. And honestly, it's a lot easier to do it in this kind of setting just because they get to see it in place.
I like being able to know families. I like to know, that I've delivered a baby and I get to see the baby and the mom, for months afterwards, and then I know their grandma and I know their, uncle, and you learn a lot about families, and you learn a lot about their social life, which is really important in medicine. I grew up on a ranch in southeastern Montana, pretty remote, about 50 miles from the nearest town. So I actually went to a one-room schoolhouse. The people in small communities are just really loving. They help each other out because you don't have anything else when you're out there.
Take a look at your legs.
I knew I wanted to come back and be one of the people who, help people when they're at their lowest or highest points in their lives, and just give back to the community.
We'll take a look, make sure you're on some blood thinners.
Oh, she's going to be a great doctor. She's going to be wonderful. I mean, she's confident, she's not afraid to work, she's energetic, but she is unbelievably empathetic. And the patients just, it's just her being here, the patients go, gosh, I sure like that doctor. She really talked to me, and she really told me things, and she has that wonderful skill of being able to educate patients too, because that's a lot of what we do.
I think the TRUST program is just a very unique program. There's nothing like it in the country for medical students. It's, it's one of the only places where you can really get to know a community and a set of doctors and a set of patients. And it's an opportunity for you to grow within yourself and learn about all aspects of medicine.
When we come back, a closer look at this spectacular quad in all its blooming glory as UW360 continues. Welcome back to UW360. 30 Yoshino cherry trees are the hallmark of the University of Washington Quad. You've no doubt seen the gorgeous pictures of them in full bloom every spring. But do you know the story behind these trees? Becky Herr reports.
Nothing signals springtime on the University of Washington campus quite like this. The annual blooming of the cherry trees in the quad.
I have to say it's the most enchanting experience I think I've ever had. Everybody's taking pictures. Everybody's happy, and it's just a really good time.
The 31 Yoshino cherry trees have provided a picture-perfect location on campus for almost half a century. But you might be surprised to learn this beautiful backdrop might never have existed.
They were originally planted at the Arboretum, and then a construction project threatened to come in and wipe out the trees.
When State Route 520 was being built in the mid-60s, the construction path went right through the location where these trees were originally planted. University grounds crews worked quickly to move the trees to their new home in the quad. But there was little time to prepare for such a potentially traumatic move.
They moved them here. Nobody knew whether they were going to survive or not. This was 1964, so they were 25 years old, pretty old to be transplanting a tree. And everybody just crossed their fingers and hoped that they would survive.
Lucky for us, the trees did survive the move. The following spring, every single tree bloomed beautifully. And they've been enchanting generations of UW students and staff since then.
The trees are about 75 years old, and their typical lifespan is 60 to 100 years. So they're reaching sort of the very mature phase of their life. You can tell these trees are very old by how large their trunks are.
A couple of the trees have been lost over the decades as they naturally age and die. But UW Grounds Management has a plan in place to ensure these trees remain a treasured attraction for generations to come.
And they're being replaced by a generous gift from the 1959 class who raised $85,000 to get cuttings of these trees so we can have the genetic identical tree grown up in a nursery, and we can use those trees to replace.
And as for this scene, well, beauty is fleeting. The blossoms only stick around for 2 to 3 weeks until the delicate petals carpet the grounds of the quad, and you're left with the photographs,
Say cheese. Good girl.
the memories,
Okay.
and something to look forward to for next spring.
The quad isn't the only place you'll find cherry blossoms on this campus. You can also find them along Rainier Vista near Stevens Way and just off Red Square. In all, there are 480 varieties of trees on this campus. And that does it for this edition of UW 360. We'll see you next time from historic Condon Hall, where a new effort to support our business community, inspired by UW President Michael Young, is taking root. I'm Carolyn Douglas. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with all news stories from the University of Washington.